Alright, now we're doing 8Q Lario and Muigi pipe problems. This is by Liam Sorta, and 92% of the people like it. So it looks like some hoodlum plumber and his brother has been running around and damaging our stages again. The pipes connecting our levels stages together need to be fixed before we receive any more complaints. Pipes list is correct when each pipe after the first index is greater +1 than the previous one, and that there is no duplicates. All right. Given a list of numbers, we're going to return a fixed list so that the values increment by 1 for each index from the minimum value up to the maximum value, both included. All right, so we've got the minimum value right here, 1, maximum 8. So what we're going to do is say a for loop saying this one or anything at number 0, I is going to equal this, and then we're going to say while I is less than or equal to this, because they're both included, just add 1 to a brand new array, which is going to be this one, just like that. All right, so let's come over here and we'll say, what are we going to say here? For let I equal numbers at 0, while I is less than or equal to numbers at numbers.length -1. We're going to say I++. All right. Then we'll say we're going to declare results. Say let results equal an empty array, and then we'll say result.push I, and then we'll say down here. Let's just do console.log results just to see what we got. Test it out. All right, so we got this array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just like we're looking for. All right, so let's just say right here, return result like that. Test it out. And it worked. It worked good and attempted. And there we go, it's great. But you know what? There's other ways we can do this. We can do this a little bit shorter, more concisely. Let's comment this thing out first. And then we'll come up here and say const pipe fix equals, instead of numbers, we'll say in. And then we'll do an arrow right here. We'll do the console.log right here so we can test where we go. And then we'll say something like this, Array.from, and then we'll fill that up with some stuff. So if you don't know about the Array.from method, this is the first time you've ever seen it or even heard about it. What does it say? Got it. Okay. The Array.from static method creates a new shallow copied array instance from an iterable or array-like object. So basically, what we're going to do is have this Array.from, we'll fill it with an array-like object here, and then we'll use a little function like this to fill in each one of the elements with the, I'll show you in a second. But the thing is, what's the array-like thing? So we're going to come all the way down here, and we're going to put something like this in there, this object right here, where it just says length, and we'll put the length as the, I'll show you what the length is. So we'll come over here, and we're going to first do the object length, all right? And we already have the length written down. We're going to have, we're going to take this here, the numbers, it's going to be the last one, excuse me, yeah, the last one in the array. Take this, put this right here, all right? Not that. Take this, put it right here, all right? And we're going to shorten up these numbers to in, all right? So now we've got this last one. We're going to subtract 1, excuse me, we're going to subtract what's at in at 0 from it, all right? Test that out. All right, now we've got an array with 8 undefined things, but we need 9 undefined things. And since 9 is one more than 8, we're going to just automatically assume it's going to be +1. Also, because it's taking into account this less than or equal sign right there. All right, so now we've got this. Let's test it out. You see, we got 9 now. All right, now we can do the comma, like it said right here. We do the comma, and then this thing right here. And we don't need an element because all we need is the index, which is the same as the I. So we're going to say right here underscore because we don't need an element, and then we'll say I for the index. And then we'll do this right here, and we'll say we'll just say what will we say? We'll say I plus in at 0. All right. So if it's so that means when it's index 0, it'll just start at this one and then just keep going up. So let's test it out and see what happens. So now we got the 1 through 9 just like that. So let's get this Array.from. We'll just put it right here. Test it out. Look, it works. And attempt it. And just like that. But you know what? We could make that a little bit shorter with another little thing. All right. We come over here, and instead of using the Array.from, we'll move this up here. Instead of using the Array.from, we can use the array constructor. So array and like this. And if you don't know, if this is the first time you've heard about the array constructor, it's used to create array objects. And basically all we can do is just have an array and then the array length. And the array length we already know is this right here, right? So we're just going to say array. We'll take this, copy it, put it in here. Let's test that out. All right, now we've got 9 empty items instead of 9 undefined elements. So what we're going to do to make these into actual elements, we're going to say .fill. And if you don't know about the fill method, it changes all elements in an array to a static value from start index to an end index. Or it just, well, let's go back over here. Or if you just put the value in there. So we'll just put 0 in there. We'll just fill the whole array with zeros. Let's test it out. All right, so now it's got 9 zeros in there. And now we'll do the map method. If you don't know about the map method, it creates a new method, a new array populated with the results of calling a provided function on every element in the calling array. For this one, it's multiplying each element by 2. So it's going 1 times 2 is 2, 4 times 2 is 8, 9 times 2 is 18, 16 times 2 is 32, and when you run it, that's what happens, just like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to say .map, and what we're going to put in there is, let me come over to this, we can use the same syntax we used on the Array.from. So we'll just come over here and we'll just take this right here, copy this, and put it in here. So now it's doing this little expression for each one of the elements. So it's going to turn these ones into this basically. Let's test it. And there we go. Let's take this one out of here, bring it up here, test it again, make sure it's cool. All right, and attempt it. And there we go. And believe it or not, there's another way we're going to do. We'll just bring this right up here. All right. And then we'll do, it's basically just like this, except for a little bit different. We're going to have the same array constructor, but we're not going to do the .fill. What we're going to do is we're going to make an array. Let's test this out again. We're going to make an array literal out of this thing. So we're going to wrap this thing up in brackets like that. Let's test it out. So right now it doesn't do anything except for put the same little array inside of this array. But if we look at the spread syntax over here, it allows an iterable such as an array or string to be expanded in place where 0 more arguments or elements for array literals are expected. So we're just going to turn this thing into an array literal by putting 3 dots in front of it. Let's check that out. And look at that, now we've got exactly what we had when we were on this Array.from. So we can just finish this up with the map right here. Since we don't need to fill it with anything, undefined's good enough. Now let's test it. What was that? Oh, forgot the close parenthesis. Let's check it out. And look, just like that. And let's get rid of the console.log. Test it out. Alright, and attempt it. And there we go. And let's, why is this map over here? Hold on. Give me just a second. I don't like this being unfinished. Test it, attempt it, and submit it. Alright. So you can see here they did the for loop, except for they declared these outside of the loop, and that's cool. They did basically the same thing we did. I mean, the same thing these people did. Here's the Array.from, and then here's another for loop, and you can just check out all the rest of them if you feel like it. Let's go over to mine. Just me on this one. Best practice in my opinion. Very much like it, and we'll see you next time.